Hello folks, welcome to our new video. If you want to help the channel, leave a like and subscribe and share it if you want. We are quickly jumping into Reddit, and we have today topic what things are normal but Redditors hate, so let's get started. What things are normal but Redditors hate? Redditors tend to view things in a very black and white way with no room for variation or subtlety. Every relationship is either perfect or a toxic cesspool. You either love or hate the newest Star Wars thing. And most people don't read the goddamn article. Oh yeah, and this thing /s. I like this thing although it has many flaws and can be improved. Downvoted by people who hate it cause I said I like it. Downvoted by peep who like it cause I said it has flaws. The whole love it or hate it shit gets on my nerves the most. Can't criticize the shortcomings of a popular show because you hate it then and are probably a fake fan on the bandwagon, but you also can't praise the actual positive aspects of something else because then you've got no standards and are easily pleased. The hive mind mentality of Reddit will probably never find an equal. But that mindset of love/hate you mentioned is pretty much ingrained in internet culture with how widespread it is across different apps and sites. Being nice and polite to strangers before they're nice and polite to you is not only common courtesy, it may even benefit you in the long run. True story. Went to a job interview for a job I really wanted. Show up the say of and it's raining hardcore. About to walk in and I see an old guy farther behind me also walking towards the door. So I stop, wait and hold it open for him. We smile, he says thanks, I say no problem, and we go our separate ways. When I finally got called in, guess who interviewed me? I like to think I got hired because I was qualified, but I also know holding that door abd being polite to that stranger was a great first impression that probably helped sell me. It's honestly astonishing how many people don't get this even in the workplace. Where I work there is a fair amount of cooperation between areas and we are all more or less expected to facilitate work getting done, but if you are nice to people it goes a long way to getting them to want to work with you and help you out when they can. I was seen holding the door for someone walking into a clinic I was interviewing at. You best believe that helped me get that job. They even commented on it. It's impossible to write a brief post without 10 people misinterpreting it, and you can't explain it in a long post because you'll be downvoted and no one will read it. Or they'll pick it apart and twist your words. Focus on one little minor detail in your post to just derail the thread. One of the most fucking obnoxious debating tactics on this website. And then write, we're done here. And clap themselves on the back cause they think they won a grand slam debate. Don't forget a mic drop because they think it means they're cool. I'll wait is the new mic drop and is somehow even more irritating. I can't bear how every other week the same questions pop up in AskReddit. Furthermore, 80% of the remarks are predicted. There was a post years ago where a guy posted a question on here and then filled the entire comments section himself. The whole thing read like a normal post and comments, but it was all him. Truly a work of art. Update, link wasn't on AskReddit, but still awesome. Unpopular opinion, I know I'm going to get downvoted for this, but I think Putin should not have invaded Ukraine. Speaking on something you're quite well experienced in. I had talked about things that pertain to my career/industry and have been downvoted for being correct and sharing my knowledge based on the post. Don't mind me, only been doing it for 20 years, but I'm probably wrong. Once I realized how wrong people were when speaking on the subject of my career, and upvoted heavily for it, it became clear that under no circumstances should anything read on Reddit or online be considered fact until verified by other sources. Person A takes car from person B, an actual lawyer. I'd need more info on the case and to know your jurisdiction. But assuming XYZ, then potentially this could be a case of theft. Redditors, IANL, but this is illegal. Tell your milkman, then you have a witness and you can just smash the car windows and carpet bomb his house, it's in your rights. Got what I needed, thanks. Weddings. Unless it's geek themed. Every wedding adjacent thread has a gang of people trying to one-up, one-down each other on how little they spent / how cheap or non-existent their rings were. You'd think that because I spent money on my wedding / dress / and ring that I'd be doomed to a miserable relationship. I'm not. Pre-COVID I had a side gig as a wedding DJ. I would pick and choose where I talked about that on here because people would randomly dogpile on me just for being part of that industry. They act like service providers are changing extra just to be greedy assholes, and not because weddings are way more work than other events. Weddings. unless it's geek-themed. Every wedding-adjacent thread has a gang of people trying to one-up, one-down, each other on how little they spent / how cheap or non-existent their rings were. You'd think that because I spent money on my wedding / dress / and ring that I'd be doomed to a miserable relationship. I'm not. Pre-COVID I had a side gig as a wedding DJ. I would pick and choose where I talked about that on here because people would randomly dogpile on me just for being part of that industry. They act like service providers are charging extra just to be greedy assholes, and not because weddings are way more work than other events. Having a debate, reading the comment, comprehending it, trying to understand the other's opinion, no matter how shitty it is, and replying with a logical argument, they just check if you align with the hive mind narrative and respond to logic with feelings. I sort by controversial, and at least half the comments are feelings-based screeching and throwing shit, instead of having a conversation, plus one also talking to people on a flight. Every debate is focused on being more right than the opponent. There's never an attempt to find common ground, follow reasoning to conclusions, and critiquing the reasoning. If you have no common agreements, you can't have a discussion and are just screaming louder and louder. AITA has entered the chat. LOL had some lengthy discussions with someone a while back and I would quote and refuse their points, and in return they'd laugh and say, imagine writing a wall of text and then use childish insults. Then they went to my DMs and I stopped caring to hear from them, so I blocked them as spam. A few days later their account was permabanned. Maybe that's my fault, even if unintended. But oh well, not a big loss. People on Reddit are certainly worse at this than they think, but I'm not sure that I agree that this is something that's normal outside of this site. Most people both on the internet and off either argue in this same hive mind, feelings-driven way, or just don't care enough to discuss things. Civil, logical arguments are pretty rare anywhere. I agree. I see it happen all the time in real life as well. Like, say, the government tries to do something or changes something for a specific group. And people complain about it. Whereas as someone from that specific group, I actually applaud it or even think they don't go far enough, but I more often hear opinions from people outside of the group than of those inside the group. One example would be, for instance, the new women quota the EU wants to implement. As a woman, I applaud the quota. I think it is deeply shameful we still need one after so long, but I do think it is necessary for the advancement of working equality. Obviously. Not everyone agrees, and of course, some people also has some very strict definitions, as it were. For instance, cultural appropriation. I once shared what cultural appropriation would look like when it comes to my own culture. You know, the one I was born in, grew up in, and am living in. Well, that is a big no-no. Don't you know it is impossible to culturally appropriate European culture or even be able to discriminate in European? Let's just say that was a stupid discussion whose sole purpose was to shame me for daring to present in the discussion and patting themselves on the back for being so aware of worldly issues. Of course, I do think this specific type of conversation would be less likely, since it is outright hostile, but minor versions of these certainly happen offline as well. You know what I hate? Do you have a source for that? No bitch, I don't. And it isn't on me to go find one. Piss off and find it yourself. You're literally what this guy is complaining about. Having to provide proof to rationalize your argument takes effort. It's much easier for you to get frustrated and emotional and say piss off, educate yourself. Here's the thing. Some people do base their opinion on actual research data. But no one saves and categorizes everything they've read. Yes. There's a source, but if it takes me more than a few minutes to find it again on a search engine, good luck, then there's no way I'm wasting my time to spoon feed someone who's just going to pick it apart rather than read it and change their understanding on something. Most Redditors don't want to learn, they want to shout and be right. I had someone just decide to start insulting me directly instead of explaining his side of the argument. I asked them specifically to explain their side and all they could say was, "You can't read, so why even try?" Maybe it's because you had no valid argument or response. You wanted to be snarky, and when you got called out you just doubled down instead of defending your side. These are also the people that cry when no one wants to be around them. Accountability in life. A large number of people here have the mindset that your life is completely determined by your environment and that individuals have little influence in the outcome of their lives. That seems to be the internet in general. I get that life has challenges and some people are simply less fortunate than others, but it feels like a lot of people here can be described with "I tried nothing and I'm all out of ideas." Similarly, people will spend 8 hours coming up with excuses about why they shouldn't have to do something that would have taken them 15 minutes to do. I find this not only in general life advice, but in school too. I'm a PhD candidate and teach some calc classes. All the time I have a conversation, "I need help on this problem." "Alright, what's got you stuck?" "I don't know where to start." "Have you tried anything so far?" "No." "I don't know where to start." "That's okay. Do you understand what the problem is asking?" "Yeah." "Okay, great. What tools or facts from class do you think would be relevant to solving this?" "I don't know." "I don't remember." "Alright, well, let's read it." The problem gives you a position function and asks about velocity at time t equals 5. What tool is relevant for finding velocity? The derivative. Yeah, great. Take the derivative of position to get velocity. Can you take it from here? Like, buddy, I added no value to that conversation. I'm happy to help you out, but do you really need me to tell you to read the problem, think of relevant concepts, and try them? One often reposted shit question on r/AskReddit, former gifted children of Reddit: "How are you doing now?" "Oh, school didn't challenge me enough, so I never learned how to study, so I coasted through life until college hit me like a freight train. College was one of the best and most humbling things to happen to me. I did not grade in HS, but then excelled in college, especially my first couple semesters, and now I'm in grad school. Yup, there are a few of us out here. Got a 1.2 GPA in high school. Earned some college credits that I was able to use to get into a university and coasted on a 3.85. Turns out high school is a horrible fucking environment for children to actually learn shit they're interested in." That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Do not forget to leave a like and subscribe. See you next time.